What's up, Team JVS? We are back with another review. We are here with the season 2 finale of Daryl Dixon. So, again, the 6 episode format, it bothers me. It stinks, but at the same time, I do enjoy it sometimes. Sometimes. But, I think days like this is when I don't enjoy it, because we're seeing a show that we've had fun with kind of come to a close until Lord knows when, whether it's a year or 2 years. But I'm really, really looking forward to season 3. This honestly didn't really feel like a finale considering that we had like not too much of a crazy cliffhanger. The stuff that I want to see for later on is stuff that I most likely know that we most likely won't see to the end. We got to say goodbye to Laurent, which he's been a big part of this show since the first episode. So to say goodbye to him has been pretty interesting. But I kind of felt like it was coming specifically after the last episode where they kept kind of talking to each other and then kind of like saying, "Hey, like I'm gonna stay here and you go back." And then when they finally came to terms, it was like, finally, we're things seem to be working out. But it makes sense that they're kind of going their separate routes. I'm excited for just Carol and Daryl to go on their journey, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But for now, I just want to say hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Bizzy Braun. If you want to see reactions and stuff from a whole bunch of people, you can go over to my channel. But for now, I enjoy doing reviews and a whole bunch of stuff, and we're going to be doing a lot of stuff like that over here. So just stay tuned. We got a lot of shows coming out, like a lot of stuff. So you guys are going to be as busy as we are. So just keep an eye out. But again, back to the show. I do want to say that I have been, again, happy with what we got. Again, this hasn't been anything crazy, but still, one of my favorite things of this season has been the development of Codron. And he is a character that we were introduced to in season 1, and he was a pain in the ass. So to see how far his character has come, to being helpful, to actually being there for Daryl and Carol and Laurent, has been so cool to witness. We had a little bit of a setback in this episode. At the same time, one of the biggest things is, some of the consequences from prior episodes are just some things that we didn't do, such as kind of opening our mouths. The whole reason Cadron hated Daryl and tried to kill him was because he was under the assumption that Daryl killed his brother, and because the people that he saw, the person that actually killed his brother, said that Daryl did it, and Daryl never once said no, I didn't do it. Like you know how easy that would have been, but no. Daryl ended up finally opening his mouth here, which I think was beautiful because even we're at a point where Cadron as a character has kind of accepted Daryl and has you know overlooked him killing his brother, and now that he's at a point where wait, you didn't kill my brother, like their relationship can only go get stronger. But as we saw, we had a lot of different things in this episode, whether it was wrapping up the arc with the nest and all of that stuff, which needed to be wrapped up a long time ago. I kind of feel like it overstayed a little bit, but at the same time, I do like that we kind of wrapped it up in the first half of the episode, and it didn't stay all the way to the end, because after we dealt with everything in the beginning, it kind of led up to the last moment, which was going through the tunnel, which again we will talk about. I feel like we should do things in a little bit in order, if you will. But the first scene of the show was extremely beautiful, and I cannot help but to think that they were kind of like, it was like mirroring in my eyes like a Joel and an Ellie moment, which like the foreshadowing. Let's hope that there's nothing there. But at the end of the day, I was like, yo, like this is making me think of that. And then we have Norman Reedus. We have Daryl Dixon of all characters starting to sing along to the music, and I'm just like, wow, like that whole sequence, even though it was just, it kind of felt a little weird at the time. I feel like if they had a moment like that at the end of the show, it would have been a beautiful way to close out a series. To have a character like Daryl Dixon, who you would never think would sing on screen, to end a series coming kind of like breaking out of his shell and just singing along while being emotional. Like you could hear his voice crack. Like Norman Reedus has done a phenomenal job in this series. Same thing with Melissa McBride. Like they're acting, and not even just the chemistry, but they're acting on their own individual story points, which whether it's Carol and Ash in that sequence where she kind of flinched when Ash kind of like got a little short tempered, or just Daryl whenever he interacted with Isabel or Laurent. There's just so many different moments in this show where we're seeing both of them kind of like show why they are just to who they are. Like they're big, they're good. They're good at what they do, you know, and it's that's never been a secret, but it was just interesting to kind of see like the way Norman Reedus was playing that sequence when he was singing and just kind of like broke a little bit because I think he understood he was kind of saying goodbye to Laurent in a way, but it was interesting, man. And then again, from someone who got to go to New York Comic Con to experience how emotionally connected these actors are to the characters just makes it so much more entertaining to watch. When they were talking about the reunion from episode 4 with Carol and Daryl, like Norman Reedus was actually, he was shaken up a little bit because of how impactful it kind of was to him in real life. So it's just one of those things where it's like I'm so impressed with the emotional connection that these actors have with these characters. So it's been really kind of like rewarding to kind of see it all kind of come together and just to see the development. And again, I'm huge on that. And I keep mentioning development, and I was talking about Cadrone earlier, and it's like for a character like that to come so far, it just makes sense that it would be in a show that has two characters that probably have the best development in the Walking Dead show at all, and that's both Carol and Daryl. Like they both started in two completely different places, and now they're in an area they're in two different positions. Like they're so much further than they were in season 1, episode 1, and it's just oh man, it's just been so fun to watch, dude. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But we kind of led to, of course, trying to get Laurent out of there. We have the whole nightclub situation again. They're just cruising around, and then they get stopped by Losang's people, which aren't really Losang's people anymore. And that's when we see, his right hand woman kind of like pull him over. She's clearly calling the shots, and it again leads to them finding the hangar, and we get a whole shootout, which again I thought was a really cool moment. Again, always seeing Cadrone on the right side of things has been really entertaining, whether it's with Falou or when we have just different moments like that. But we had a couple different moments with Falou, introducing a new character, and of course seems to be a kind of a love connection there, which I was happy to see that. Didn't like that we didn't see more of it throughout the season, but because that was out of nowhere in my opinion. So I kind of hated that, but it did make sense. I do like that Falou didn't die, because one of my main things was like we are kind of starting a new chapter, if you will, and to what we saw earlier with losing one character, then we lost Isabel, and I'm just like, yo, like they're just kind of wiping off characters, and I feel like we're just about to start fresh with just Carol and Daryl, and I don't like that because I don't want to say goodbye to all these characters that I've really enjoyed, and the way they kind of sent off Falou, I think was it was kind of a little like just tap on the shoulders to the fans, because us as fans, as much as we love to see Carol and Daryl just do well, it's just it sucks to see all these characters that we've fallen in love with in the last 2 years meet their end. Like I love the crap out of what's her name, Isabel, and even Sylvie, and to say goodbye to them really sucked. But I don't know, man. I think it's just a matter of like, you know, just looking forward to what's to come with season 3, because we know where they're headed. I don't want to say where they're headed because they have announced it publicly. It's not a spoiler, but again, I don't want to. For those who haven't gotten that far, I think it would be a fun surprise for you guys, because we do know, especially after Ash and Laurent went on their own, we know that clearly they're gonna have to find their way back to America somehow, which means cutting through other countries, going different places, which I think could be fun, but it's gonna be really crazy. I mean, if we saw France have their own little world of variants, whole different stuff going on here than it is in the US. So I'm curious to see what might be going on in some other countries. So I think that could be really fun. The concept is cool. We already got a season 3 greenlit, so we know what's happening, obviously, but there's a lot to be excited for. And I think that's a part of the reason why I enjoyed the finale a little more, knowing I wasn't going into it with like a guaranteed kind of like a ending where there is like, oh, this could be a good ending, but it could also be like, oh, I want more, like this is a perfect setup for what's to come. But I think they did a good job with it, and even though it wasn't a crazy ending in the sense where it's like, well, if this is happening, then what's happening here? The only question I had is like, are we gonna see Cadrone again? And just like, where things are going to go once we get out of the tunnel, especially now that we don't have our tour guides, which were introduced by Falou. And I guess they weren't like evil, evil, but they obviously were trying to save themselves, which at the end of the day, like that's just apocalypse stuff. Like they weren't awful, awful people. That's just how it is, you know? Like realistically, you're going to save yourself over people you met a night prior. And I totally got that. But again, one of my favorite moments was also Falou saying goodbye to Cadron and Daryl, calling Daryl his brother in arms. Great touch. There's just a lot, you know, to see all of these relationships kind of like separating. Has it's been rough, but you know, it's been interesting. Again, like the goodbye with Laurent and just seeing Ash go away. You know, just being all excited that Daryl took out those people, and then as soon as Ash and Laurent got away, we see Lo Sing's you know, right hand woman kind of take her own life. Like the whole thing has been extremely messy. It's been brutal, but you know, of course, it hopefully season three I think picks up the heat and it's just a little crazier because I do believe season one was better than season two. That's my opinion. I do think that season one just overall was better. Um, Season four was one of my favorite episodes of this season, but primarily due to like just seeing two characters that I grew up loving together again, which is Carol and Daryl. And it's like realistically, episode five should have been better than episode four, but because of just the nostalgia boost that I got and just seeing these characters I love in that one singular scene, I feel as though that's the reason why I loved it so much. But episode five was pretty solid. But I do believe I think it's gonna be that might be a hot take, who knows? But I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. Like, where do you stand on episode rankings for this season, and whether you like season two better than season one? But it's just gonna be a really kind of different topic. But I am excited to hear what you guys have to say. But yeah, of course, leading to the tunnel, we end up meeting. I don't even know if you want to call them variants. If you want to, go ahead. But the bioluminescence that kind of grew in these walkers' body, I think was extremely creative. It was just such a little fun touch to see the kind of like the blood in their mouth, or just it's just like neon green. It was just like glow in the dark stuff. It was awesome. And of course, when we see Daryl with his what is it, mace? What do you call it? Like Morning Star, whatever. When he knocks the walker, you just see the blood just splatter, but it's not even. It doesn't look like blood. I felt like I was playing like Call of Duty on paintball mode because of the fact that it was just green goo everywhere, and it was interesting, you know. And it's like even though we're like 15 years into this show, it's like it's always interesting to see like them get creative with the walkers. And I thought that was really cool. I thought it was really cool, you know. And I know some people are gonna look at it and be like, "Oh wow, we're running out of ideas," or "This is stupid." But no, it was fun. It was cool, you know. Specifically being in a dark, dark tunnel to see these like I think it's scary like when the only thing you see are like the glowing green eyes or whatever. I think that was a really cool idea, you know. And I feel like they could have had even more fun with it. And of course, it leading to the hallucinations, which is where we got Sophia, and we just got a whole bunch of other stuff like Codron seeing Michelle. You know, it just led to a whole bunch of craziness, like another fight between Codron and Daryl, and then even Codron stabbing Daryl. They just had a blast with this episode, and it was fun to watch. But again, it really didn't feel like a finale at times. I mean, yeah, we said goodbye to Laurent and we wrapped up the whole Nest thing, but it's getting me really curious to see like what are they gonna be doing for season three? Like it feels like season three might kind of be like a little bit of a reset. Like we're starting fresh. It's just like season one and two were kind of like friggin' a prequel, and now season three is the actual season one of the Carol and Daryl show. You know, it's just I'm all over the place. I think I'm just still a little upset about getting rid of Sylvie and Isabel, but I think realistically I'm gonna have fun when season three does come around. We do have Dead City not too far from us, which is pretty awesome because I really really enjoyed that show. But and this year they actually filmed in Boston, and I'm from that area, so I think it's gonna be really cool to just see and be able to notice some things. But realistically, I'm just happy that we've been able to watch this with you guys. Like, I appreciate all of you guys. I'm just glad that you guys allowed me to be your guy to talk about Daryl Dixon, you know, The Walking Dead with you guys. And I'm hoping to be back with Dead City so we can do the same thing. And then we'll do this all over the place. So same thing over here, Team JVS. If you want reviews, just little chats, comment down below and we'll get back to you. One of us will talk to you. We'll love hearing your questions. Just interact with us. Same thing goes with me on my channel. If you want to see me actually watch the episode live, go over there. And then on top of that, we go live every Monday when there's a Walking Dead show coming out at 8 o'clock, and we talk about the show, and I answer your questions live. We have other people on the show, so it's always fun to have a big conversation about the show. So just tag along, guys, and I just want to say a big thank you. Just go crazy, talk to me, and you guys have been great. But yeah, again, thank you for watching TeamJVS. Make sure you're liking, subscribing. It does help us out a lot. And yeah, you guys are great. Peace out.